Welcome back to another episode of DreamChasers. Today I'm here with my good friend Teresa Reynolds. Been a long time since we've caught up, but today I just want to get into, first of all, who you are, and then what your dream is. So where you come from, what you did what you've done to get to where you are now, and what's your ultimate goal.
Well, as I said, my name is Teresa. I run Incredible Brilliant Youth, which is an organisation that I founded in 2012 with the purpose of helping young people to improve their self-esteem and access to opportunities. To date, I've worked with over 2,000 young people and had a lot of support from Prince's Trust, and now partnering with them on some work. Worked in schools and youth clubs all over London, so I've been in sixth forms, I've been in corporates. I was at Barclays a couple of weeks ago. I've worked in the back of minibuses in like parks in Greenwich. Like, I've reached young people everywhere, which is a blessing to be able to say, because I didn't know what was going to happen when I first started out with this. So it's gone really, really well. It's gone really well. I'm glad to make it to 5 years.
What was your beginnings? So where were you born? What area?
I was born in the mighty West London. I was born in year of our Lord 1986. To some lovely parents. We lived in Fulham ever since. It's a nice area. Went to school there. Secondary school was a really hard time. I got bullied really badly and was put in isolation in year 9 to keep me away from
the bullies.
So it wasn't the other way around, because there were so many people that were just everywhere. So that was really hard. That was kind of the start of my low self-esteem, because I felt like, and I was constantly told that I didn't fit in, there was always something wrong. There was also this issue with the fact that my parents are still married, and this sounds very, very strange, but they didn't like that because they came from single parent homes. So I was hated on because typically, or I shouldn't even say typically, it feels bad to even say that it's not the norm or whatever, but people expect for black children to have only one parent and to see another parent sporadically. So that was an issue.
So that was a source of
that was
you getting bullied.
That was an issue, and I did my work. I was a good kid. Like, I did well. So, there were a lot of different things. I know they had a lot of different things going on in their lives, but that was really hard. It was baffling to try and understand. You're hating because my parents are still married, and there was like other stuff as well. So when I was going through secondary school, year 7 to 9 was really hard. Bit of an easier time in year 10, very calm. I liked year 10. Year 11 was really difficult. As I said before we came on camera, I'm a survivor of sexual violence, and it happened at the start of year 11. So I had to go through my GCSEs
with that
pain. with that going on, and it was really hard, but I was like, I haven't come so far. I haven't got to year 11 to flop before my GCSEs. This is crazy. So I was revising, I worked really hard. I did well on my GCSEs, thank God, and then got to year 12 and everything just fell to pieces. Because that was when it really hit what had actually happened to me. Because the situation was really foul. Like, it was a setup, it was all sorts of madness. So I carried on with that, and that carried into uni. Like, it was, a lot of stuff was really, really difficult. And it wasn't until a couple of years ago that I kind of really identified that it was the source of a lot of different issues in terms of low self-esteem, in terms of how I saw myself, how I felt, the type of people that I was interacting with, all these kind of things. So I thought, this can't continue. I have to do something about it. So I did a lot of work on myself and trying to sort of bring myself up, raise my confidence and all these kind of things. And when I was at university, I started working with young people when I was in my 3rd year. So I would come back to London from Kent, and I was working I was volunteering in a Saturday school in Sydenham Hill, and it was so lovely. And I realised then that was what I was on this planet to do. Like, despite all of the things, despite the sexual violence, despite the bullying, all that stuff, I was like, I'm here to work with young people. This is what I'm here for. So I've been doing that for the last 10 years.
So that was the genesis of your dream, that point?
Yes.
And so what is that dream now? Encapsulate that in just like a sentence for me.
A sentence.
Oh, okay. Okay. Give me a paragraph there. Give me a paragraph.
I just pull out a scroll.
Yeah. Because you've achieved quite a lot of it now, but I'm guessing there's still a bigger picture yet, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was definitely the genesis of it. So moving forward from that point, my aim has always been, and my understanding has always been that, you know, I grew up with really low self-esteem, and I know I'm not the only person in the world that's experienced that or still experiences it. So my kind of mission or purpose is to make sure that nobody else feels the same way that I did.
Right.
I was suicidal at the age of 14. That's not normal. So I'm thinking to myself, no, this can't happen to anybody else.
Yeah.
Who am I to sit back with all of these experiences and not use them for good? Now, I know there's a lot of people who've suffered trauma in the same way that I have, and maybe even more.
Yeah.
But I feel to myself, for me to be able to take back my power and be able to move forward with my life, the best thing for me to do is to take all of this horrible stuff that's happened to me and actually make it something good, and actually make it purposeful, and make it useful, and make it something that actually helps other people. Because that gives me back my strength. Because it's like I don't have to hide all of this stuff, you know, in sort of the dirty laundry basket of life or whatever.
Right.
I can actually take this and help other people. Right. So that's kind of the purpose of it. But to kind of encapsulate everything into sort of a mission, it's to help people become who they want to be and be able to move forward from difficult situations and help them to be strong and help them through all of these things that they've been through and get them to wherever they feel is the best place for them.
Right. So these driving forces, is this what helps you, you know, stay motivated when things don't go well? Because I'm assuming there's been a lot of times when things haven't gone your way, doors have been closed in your face and stuff like that. So is it those things that help you stay motivated to continue? Yeah,
definitely. And my faith as well, because if it's not for me, it's not going to happen.
Right.
And there's no point in me forcing it. Because I've realised that when you force something that's not supposed to be, you burn out, you run out of energy, and you end up still at a loss because you've lost whatever opportunity it is, or you feel like, you know, you're in the wrong place. But you end up getting there and you're like, I am not supposed to be here. Like, it's a waste of time. So I kind of accept those losses. Yes, they do hurt, but I know that something better is going to come. And I'm somebody, I have projects that backed up. So I always have stuff. I've always got something in the pipeline. I'm like, okay, on to the next one. You know, it's a shame, but if it's meant to be, it'll come back later. And there's a lot of opportunities that come back later. Yeah. When I'm more prepared for them. So.
Okay. So how, what are some of the obstacles that you faced on this journey?
Some of the obstacles. There's so many.
Give me the top 3.
The top 3 obstacles, I would say. Lack of cash.
Man.
So
I feel you.
Everybody has that. I think it's lack of cash. I think the one thing when you're starting out as an entrepreneur that people don't talk about, because people always see the glitz and glamour and the Instagram side of things.
See you in New York. I see you in New York. I'm like,
New York was fire. This is good. New York was amazing. We'll come on to that. Thanks for reminding me that. I forget so much stuff that's gone on. So I think the money side of things can be hard, because when you start working on stuff, you don't know how many different things you need to buy. So there can be computer programs, there's training that you need to go on, there's there'll be consultants that you need to get in, you know, freelancers, all that kind of stuff. So you're like, whoa, where am I going to get all this support? I got loads of support from the Princess Trust. So I actually had the idea for Incredible Brilliant Youth. Like 2010, 2011, and then didn't go to Princess Trust until like 2013. And when I started Incredible Brilliant Youth, I was on Job Seekers allowance.
Wow.
Yeah, I was on Job Seekers. So I went to the Princess Trust. I did a 4-day entrepreneurial course with them, and that went really well. I went on to become an ambassador for them. I got nominated for Princess Trust Enterprise of the Year Award for London and the South East, and got to the final 3 for that. Thank you. So that's been an amazing journey, but it started out with me literally having no cash. Do you know what I mean? I had government cash. That's what I had. That's what I had. I think the second one would be finding people that you can trust as well to work with, because there are a lot of people who they'll have one eye on your work and one eye on their work, and then their third eye somewhere else. So I think finding people that are really invested in your purpose as well, and don't just see it as, oh, this is really nice, I've given back to the youth, this is great. People who really, really believe in it and are like, no, I really want to be part of this, and they have a passion.
So has that burnt you in the past, because you've had people who are in it kind of for themselves, and if it doesn't go the way they want it, they're out, and they're not really in it for the youth?
I think sometimes it has gone like that. It has gone like that, and it's been a bit of a shame, but at the same time, if they're not really dedicated to the cause, I don't want them near my young people.
Right. And have you learned over time how to like weed out those people? You just know, like,
they weed themselves out. They do.
Eventually.
They do weed themselves out. If somebody's purpose is completely different to yours, it will be exposed. Yeah. It's as simple as that. Yeah. And that can be both positive and negative. It can be something that's like, okay, this is a huge problem and it hurts. Or it could be that, oh, okay, respectfully, both parties are like, yeah, this isn't quite working out. You go follow your dream and I'm going to keep following mine. Yeah. The third problem, I would say, I think, is actual burnout. I think it is because I work pretty much by myself, it can be really hard to keep going all the time. So for me, self-care is a really big part of my life. Even if it means just taking 10 minutes out to paint my nails or something like that. Like, I do mindfulness as much as possible to make sure that I keep myself calm and I'm always in a like steady state. So my big three.
Okay, so what's been your lowest point since, the genesis of this dream, which was, I think you said 10 years ago? What's been the lowest point, the point where you probably thought, I don't want to do this anymore?
I don't know if it felt like that. I remember being completely and utterly burnt out, like I had given all I had to give. And I remember it was January 4th and I was trying to do my tax return. This was a couple of years ago. Any entrepreneur who's tried to do a tax return on their own will know how stressful
I play that game.
Tax returns hurt sometimes. Here's a tip. If you are planning on being an entrepreneur and you want to move forward, make sure you have someone in your corner who is good with paperwork and finances. You've got to have a numbers person. You have to, because
especially if you hate numbers.
There were so many. I remember there were so many receipts. There were so many like pieces of paper everywhere.
You didn't know what to do.
I'm just looking at it like, really, like, what is this? And I was trying to do it for like a couple of days, and I was going to bed. I was getting like 4 hours sleep for like maybe like 5 days in a row. But then before that, I hadn't slept properly either. And after that, I was just KO'd. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. Yeah, it was awful. It was really, really hard. It was really hard. Yeah.
So give me, to jump on that, and you might be able to use this example, give me 2 examples of when you've overcome big obstacles. So that was a low point for you, but obviously you overcame that. Give me an example. Tell me how you overcame that, and then give me
how I overcame that. I took a week off. Off. Straight off. After that, I was like, no.
But I'll do this again. I need to sleep.
It's a fast lesson in self-care and preparation and coordination and making sure that you are on point. Once you hit burnout and you're like, I cannot speak to people, I don't want to look at a screen right now. Yeah. Like, I don't even want to watch TV. Like, I don't want to look at a screen. Yeah. You gotta stop. So from there on, my tax returns have been on time. Like, they've been before time. I'm not mucking about. What was your question? So
an example of how you overcame. So that was an example. Give me another one of another obstacle that you overcame.
I think it would be sexual violence.
Wow. Interestingly enough, my next question is going to be connected to that. So yeah.
I think it would be that. I think I set myself a mission to kind of get my mind back. To take ownership of my body, mind, soul, everything. And I went to the police about it, and I had to go through a whole investigation. That was really difficult as well.
Right.
But within all of that, I knew that I won myself.
Yeah.
I won for me.
Yeah.
It was about, you know, winning for me, and I think that was something that I needed to do in my life in order to move forward properly. So yeah, I think that's one thing, and I think the other thing is overcoming self-doubt as well. I like to challenge myself. I don't know if you noticed that. I like to challenge myself. I like to go the extra mile to see what can be done.
Yeah.
And I have some great mentors around me that I speak to. They say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do the other. And they're like, okay, because they know that I'm going to do it. Yeah, so stretching my boundaries and my horizons and seeing what I can do to elevate the business, elevate myself, and obviously create a legacy, because I want this to continue long after I'm gone.
Right.
You know, the
So
company.
the dream's bigger than you.
100%. It's not about me. It's not about me at all. It's about my young people. It's about their futures.
Yeah.
And then their children's futures as well. Because having low self-esteem, you know, low confidence, anything else that can affect your mind or how you act in life, you know, it needs to be addressed so that there are positive impacts in other places as well. It has, you know, having good self-esteem and not being arrogant, having good self-esteem has brilliant ripple effects throughout life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give to your 15-year-old self? And I think you said this abuse happened around that time, right? So what advice would you give your 15-year-old self, you know, knowing what you know now? And also, what advice would you give to any young woman who's gone through, you know, sexual violence or any kind of abuse of that nature?
I would say talk to somebody. I say don't just talk to your friends. Don't be scared to tell your teachers. I was scared to death of telling my parents, and I didn't tell them until years and years later. But I think the teachers at my school were actually really good, and I could have spoken to them, but I was just too scared. And I would tell her that it's okay and it's not your fault, and you will get through it. You will. And I would say to women of any age and men as well, because let's not deny it happens to men as well. I say don't be ashamed of it. Get the support that you need, get the help that you need, whatever you feel is right for you. Don't go down a path of destruction trying to destroy yourself further because of what has happened. Speak to somebody, and don't be afraid to do it. Do you know what? I learned a lot about people during the process of that case, in terms of what people will say to you and like how they perceive situations like that.
Victim blaming.
Victim blaming and stuff like that, and also crazy things were said to me. Sometimes I was on the phone to people who were like, "What? Wow, I really know who you are."
Friends like that.
Family, but do you know what? It was very few people.
Right.
It was very few people. The support that I had was really, really good. So great organisations that help as well.
Can you name some of them?
I would say the Women and Girls Network, which is based in West London. Absolutely awesome. The Haven, who I actually went to when I was younger as well. Who else was there? And I think my friends as well. Like my friends from school, my friends from college, friends from uni as well. Yeah, there were some really, really like good people around. But I would say to people, definitely like speak up. Even if your way of releasing it is to just tell your friends or tell your family. That's one thing. If you want to pursue it further, do so. The police were really helpful. And I went and I questioned the police. I made sure that they were doing their job properly. So I spoke to them a lot. I would just say just talk about it, even if it means that like you've moved beyond it and your peace is found in just doing really well in life.
Yeah.
Like continue to do that then.
Okay, great. So take me behind the scenes of Incredible Brilliant Youth. Like, give me like an average week or day in the life of this company.
I'll give you this week because this week is indicative of what life is. So we moved into a new office in Old Street.
Nice.
Yeah, it's lovely. So there's a lot of movement. There's always movement. I'm always at meetings. I had a meeting at Selfridges earlier on this week. I had a meeting at the Prince's Trust. There's a lot of writing of courses. So I had another meeting about writing a new course for young people that will hopefully be put into schools next year. A lot of evaluations work, so going through evaluations from previous sessions to make sure that the work that's done is relevant.
So sessions, give me an example of some of the sessions that you do.
So they're based around 5 different areas. So there's self-esteem, body image, relationships, education, and employment.
Right.
We do beauty as well, because obviously I don't know if you know, I'm a makeup artist as well. So we do a lot of work based around beauty and self-esteem and how the two interact.
Right.
So there's a lot of organising of events. So it's bad, but from when I wake up, I'm like, okay, what emails have come through? Like, what do I need to do for the day? Head into the office, get started, firing off emails again, making sure that training is done, checking up on mentors, checking up on mentees, checking up on my young people, making sure that they're all well and good. Like I was at one of their events yesterday, and they were raising money for BEAT, which is I think it's a national organisation for people with eating disorders.
Right, okay.
And it was absolutely beautiful. And my young person had done so much work on it. So my average week can be everywhere, just delivering, seeing young people, organising stuff. It's like the whole shebang.
So I think you explained earlier how you got into the Prince's Trust just by applying, I think you were saying. So give me an example of how you would, get in touch with like a Selfridges. Do they reach out to you, or do you have to go to them and say, I've got this idea, do you want to work with me?
Well, I'm working with an organisation, a business that has a place in Selfridges.
Right, okay.
So we met up there. So my event is actually going to be somewhere else within their business.
Right, okay.
But to get into these places and form partnerships, I feel this is where this question is going.
That is it.
Yeah, so forming partnerships, I would say the top 3 things that you need to do: be yourself, know exactly what you're doing so you can describe it properly.
Right.
And if you're meeting people in person, or over email, so to speak from the heart. Don't write anything that you would not say in person.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So don't try and pretend to be somebody else, because it's exhausting. That's one of the things that I found out, like through networking and things like that, getting to know people in business. It can be so exhausting to try and be like, oh, hello, my name's Teresa. No, be yourself, because it's just do it. That's much better. Also, form partnerships with businesses and people that are aligned with your values and your mission.
Right.
Don't go outside of that, because it's likely that it won't work. Yeah, there's compromise, and it's likely that it won't work.
Yeah.
So definitely be careful about who you form partnerships with, and have a partnership agreement. Have something in line. Right? Yes, have your paperwork done, even if it's something that they don't sign and it's guidelines. Yeah. Make sure that they know how you work, and that they are signing up to how you work as much as you are signing up to how they work as well. Great,
because I was going to ask you, what are your 3 top tips, and I think that would probably be one of them. Partnerships, right?
Yes.
Or would that be? That would have been one of them?
Yeah, my 3 top tips for...
Yeah, for DreamChasers.
Yeah, form partnerships. No man is an island. You can't do everything by yourself all the time. Like my youth board are amazing. I love them so much. They are so awesome. I've got a group of, I think about 8. I think it's about 8 now. Because they've gone off to like year 13 and they all do different things. Right. So this group of young women are so amazing. They're aspiring lawyers, musicians, poets, like occupational therapists. Wow. They are so smart and on point. They help to inform all of the work that IBY does, and they also help with the events as well, and we'll be doing more of that work this year. They are amazing. Have a team of people around you that are going to help, and help with a good heart as well. And if you can offer them that experience that will help them to move forward with their own lives, do it. Have people come in and work in the office and stuff. I've had an intern, one of my young people that I've known from year 7, she's just gone into year 13. I saw her yesterday at this event as well. And she came and interned with me earlier on this year because she wants to be a youth worker. So she came and worked with me. But help out as much, help and be accepting of help too.
Yeah. So another one? Another tip for Dream Chasers?
Another tip for Dream Chasers. I would say, thinking about how to put it, make sure your dream kind of fits you.
Right.
So obviously my dream isn't necessarily about me. Like, it's not about building like this huge empire and, you know, being this big Twitter star or Instagram star or anything like that. It's nothing like that. It's about leaving something for other people, and that suits me. Make sure that your dream actually suits you, so you can have 1 million people in the world that'll say, you know, I know a load of people who've had their parents say, you should be a lawyer, you should be a doctor, you should do this, you should do that. And that's their dream for their children. Right. Great. Is it their children's dream though? And that's the question. So I think if you have a dream and an idea, make sure that is something that comes from your heart, and it's not something that's to kind of please other people.
Passion does fuel purpose, so that is
definitely
great advice.
Definitely. And don't make somebody else's dream your own. Right. If it's your parents' dream, okay, but I mean, like, if you see your peers doing something, everybody else is starting a business, so I'm going to start one too. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense. Well, what success are you going to have if you don't necessarily have it in your heart? Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. So, who's your biggest inspiration? Do you have one?
Yes, I do. I have more than one. My biggest inspirations are my young people. Right. Because they are so strong and so amazing, and daily I have to remind them of that, but I just love them. I just think they're just amazing people. They really are. They really, really are. My grandma is another one, because she just epitomised love to me. Yeah. And there is a woman called Marie Forleo. I don't know if you've heard of her. She has a YouTube channel. She's kind of like a life business coach. Right. Absolutely amazing. Her videos are short and sweet to the point, because I'm not somebody I like to just give me the information.
Enter the long talk.
Yeah, just give me the information. Let's get to the point. Yeah, straight. Very funny, very entertaining. She has longer videos, she has shorter videos. She has this series called Q&A Tuesday, where people send in their business questions and she answers them in a really light but informative way. So I would definitely say she's a huge inspiration. Brené Brown is definitely another one. She talks about courage, she talks about belonging, love, vulnerability, and she really, really inspires me massively. Yeah.
Okay, so just to round this out, New York.
New York.
Yeah, tell me about New York. Tell me about New York before I give you the last.
It's so funny. So I went to TEDx Team in London a couple of years ago and met the speakers coach. Right. This is the important thing about being yourself when you're networking. Yeah. So he was wearing these bright red glasses. They had red lenses in, and I was like, do you know what? I don't know who this guy is, but I'm gonna go and say hello to him, and I'm gonna tell him I like his glasses. So I went up to him and I was like, hi, I just want to say I really like your glasses. I've never seen glasses like them before. He was like, oh, I really like your scarf. I was wearing a bright pink scarf. 2 twos now, he turns around and he introduces me to Nile Rodgers.
Oh.
Yeah.
The artist, music artist.
Yeah. From Chic. He's played for like $1 billion worth of music. Yeah. And the person I'd spoken to was called Robert, and I told him about Incredible Brilliant Youth. Then he introduced me to Nile Rodgers. He was like, oh, tell him about what
at the moment, like in the room. Oh.
Yeah. He said, I'll meet him, like come tell him what you're doing. So I told him about Incredible Brilliant Youth, and he was like, that's a really cool idea. And I was like, Nile Rodgers has just said that my business is really cool. I'm done. Like,
you were finished it. You could have went home.
This is it. I was like, this is, I don't need to do anything else now. Yeah. So I kept in touch with Robert, And I was going to go to New York in April the next year anyway, because I was finishing a contract. So I thought, okay, I'll go over then. So he was like, why don't you come over for TEDx Teen? Because it was going to be in April. I was like, all right, cool, I'll go. So me and a friend of mine went and stayed in this apartment building that he's in charge of. And
nice.
Yeah, and we went to TEDx Teen. We were behind the scenes. We got to interview Nile Rodgers. We got to speak to all of the speakers.
Wow.
We had the most amazing time.
All through being yourself.
All through being myself. And that's the important thing. I've had so many opportunities come to me just simply for the fact that I went up and said hello to somebody.
Right.
That's literally all it takes.
Networking and not being afraid to talk to people.
Yeah, don't be afraid. Yeah, entrepreneurs, don't be afraid to talk to people.
Yeah.
Do not be afraid to talk to people. You must speak. This is one thing I tell all my young people. Nobody's going to make noise about you until you make noise about yourself. No one's going to pay attention to what you're doing until you start to put it out there and talk about it. So holding on to your dream until you're on your deathbed is not going to do anything for you. Make sure that you actually vocalize it, write it down, and get it out there into the world. Yeah.
Right, you are your best salesman. I do firmly believe in that.
Yeah.
So my last question to you is a bit morbid, actually. What would you like your epitaph to say, or your headstone? What's it going to say?
On my headstone.
Is your legacy going to be to take the certainty of death out of the question?
Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, so you're going to die.
Yeah.
What do you want it to say when you're gone?
It's a bit crude, but it gets people to think.
What would I want? Okay, first of all, I want my headstone to be heart-shaped.
Okay.
Real talk. Because
with all that you said, that would make sense.
Exactly, with a lot of love. What would I want it to say? Something along the line that she lived, she loved, she did all she could. There's something about, I don't know.
That sounds okay.
I want people, when they read it, I want it to be like, yeah, that's Teresa. Like she was proud of what she did. And I also want it to have a note for like a quote for people to don't.
It might just be a screen now. It might be like a Facebook
like
profile.
Instagram.
Yeah, it might be a hologram. You might get to make a video.
Just come up. Don't stand up here too long, you might end up like me. Can you imagine?
Who knows what the headstone will be? It might be an interactive headstone now, where you can press buttons and see. You might see your trip to New York. I mean, it's all on Insta, right? So you might be able to select your best Insta photos for your headstone.
Just my Instagram feed.
So I should ask you what Insta photos, and I'll post it up after. What's your 10 Insta photos for your headstone?
That is jokes. Yeah, but yeah, I wanted to have something that
I should patent that idea. To
kind of see. Yeah, well, you better get to it. A
waterproof headstone that is connected to the internet. And just has, selections of your social media profile.
Because there's gonna be certain people that are just like, let me take a selfie from a headstone and then post it.
I've seen worse things.
That's one thing I don't want. I don't want any social media around by my funeral. I know that much is true because I feel that's.
You got way over the funeral.
No man, I don't want that. But yeah, I definitely want it to have some instruction at the bottom where it inspires people to go out and do what they should do. That's what I want it to be.
Okay. So, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
How can people get in touch with you? Like, what are your contact details? Talking on social media. How can people follow you?
Now you can use the social media for a proper reason.
Yeah, exactly.
So the Instagram and the Twitter is @_IBYOUTH_.
Right.
That will connect you to both Instagram and Twitter.
Yep.
Facebook is Facebook/Brilliant Youth.
Yep.
And you can also email info@ibyouth.org.uk, and the website is www.ibyouth.org.uk.
Fantastic. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for
this great interview, and I'm sure it will inspire many.
I hope so.
So thanks again, and we'll see you next time on DreamChasers.